Welcome, students. In this lesson, Strategies for Designing AI-Resistant Assessments, you will explore practical ways to design meaningful, authentic assessments in the age of AI. We are now teaching and learning in a time when AI tools like ChatGPT can generate essays, solve complex problems, and simulate human reasoning in seconds. This rapid shift challenges educators to rethink how we measure student understanding. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify strategies for creating AI-resistant assessments and apply one of these strategies to update an existing assignment from your own course. Please note, at certain points in the lesson, you will be prompted to reflect on your own teaching practice and asked to record your thoughts. If you prefer to write your thoughts down on pen and paper, you will want to gather those materials now before you begin the lesson. You may also choose to record your thoughts in a Google Doc or on your phone. Let's get started. Let's start with an example. On the right-hand side of your screen, you will see the directions for an essay assigned to high school juniors in an honors English literature class. This type of traditional essay assignment prompt has been used for years, but is the assignment truly AI resistant? What would happen if you entered the same prompt into a generative AI tool like ChatGPT? While this is only the first paragraph, you can see that ChatGPT produced a decent full essay in seconds. The question we want to answer is, does this response actually reveal what your students think, understand, or can do? Probably not. These are the kinds of questions we must consider when designing assignments in the age of AI. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on your own class and some of the assignments you have recently given to your students. For this do now reflection, you may want to write your answers down, which you can do on pen and paper, in the Notes app on your phone, or in a Google Doc on your computer. Take a minute to reflect on the prompt you see on your screen. Consider a specific assignment you've recently given your students. If the answer to the question is yes, that doesn't mean the assignment is bad, so don't fret too much. It just means that you may want to rethink how you approach the assignment. There are opportunities to redesign how you are asking your students to demonstrate their thinking or process in the completion of the assignment. Keep your example in mind as we move forward with the lesson. Here's what you will learn in this short module. You will learn strategies that promote authentic learning, and you will put one strategy into practice by redesigning one of your own assignments. So what is an AI-resistant assessment? An AI-resistant assessment doesn't ban technology. It ensures that learning is true to the student and not just outsourced. AI-resistant assessments focus on what only a student can demonstrate: their thinking, reasoning, creativity, and their personal context. The emphasis is on how students arrive at their ideas, not just what the final answer looks like. The goal isn't to catch students using AI. Instead, it's to design tasks that make genuine learning visible. You want your students to have an opportunity to apply, explain, or connect ideas in ways that AI alone cannot replicate. In the next section, we will look at specific strategies you can use to make that happen in your own course. The first strategy is to make tasks authentic. This strategy is all about making assignments that are grounded in real-world problems, roles, or audiences. Authentic assessments ask students to apply what they've learned in contexts that mirror how knowledge is actually used beyond the classroom. For example, instead of writing an essay about leadership theories, students could analyze a real situation from an internship or design a solution for a campus issue. In an English course, this might mean writing a letter to a local newspaper or curating a digital exhibit that connects literature to current events. Generative AI can even support authenticity by helping you create realistic case studies, sample data, or community scenarios for students to analyze. In these cases, the student's job is to interpret, evaluate, or propose solutions to these realistic scenarios. When learners see the relevance of their work and must connect course concepts to lived experience, it becomes much harder for AI to do the work for them. The second strategy is to assess the process, not just the final product. When students show how they develop their work, you are assessing their learning journey, not just what ends up on the page when they submit their final work. You can accomplish this in a few ways. Ask students to document their steps, how they gathered their ideas, what AI tools they used, how they organized their thoughts, and how they revised their work based on feedback or reflection. This makes thinking visible and gives credit to your students for their growth and iteration. This kind of work also encourages breaking larger assignments into smaller scaffolded checkpoints, for example, by requiring students to submit a proposal, an outline, a draft, and a final submission. This approach not only allows you to monitor student progress and provide feedback along the way, it also reduces the temptation to turn to AI for the final product. When students submit their work in stages, the process feels more doable. They also receive guidance before the stakes are so high, like when turning in a summative assignment. In short, by assessing how students learn and not just what they submit, you create a more transparent, supportive, and authentic learning experience. The third strategy is to include short oral or interactive components instead of just relying on written submissions. When students have to speak about their work, whether through a short video, a voice memo reflection, or a live discussion, it becomes much harder for them to rely entirely on AI. Generative AI can produce text that sounds convincing, but it can't easily simulate a student's personal expression or understanding. When learners have to present, explain, or defend their ideas aloud, they have to have a genuine grasp of the material. For example, you might ask students to record a short video presentation to accompany a written report, or to create a brief audio reflection describing how they brainstormed and refined their ideas. In an online course, this could take the form of a Flip or Canvas Studio video, or even a short discussion post where students verbally summarize how their group approached a case study or problem-solving task. These oral and interactive elements not only help verify authentic learning, but also strengthen students' communication skills and give them presentation experience that can be helpful in future career situations. In short, when students are asked to talk about what they've learned, you're creating an environment where understanding, not output, becomes the measure of success. Let's see how we might apply what we've just learned. On the left-hand side of your screen, you will see a traditional essay prompt, an assignment that AI could easily complete. Now, look at the revised version on the right-hand side. It's authentic, multimodal, and rooted in a local context. Notice how the revised task asks students to connect knowledge to real-world application and to demonstrate understanding through communication. Your assignment could ask students to find data to support their conclusions from local sources, or interview community members or organizations impacted by or working on climate change issues. The assignment presents several opportunities for personalizing it and ensuring it is an authentic measure of student learning. Take 30 seconds to think of an assignment you could tweak like this. What is one change you could make to take a current assignment and make it more AI resistant? Jot down your thoughts on paper or in a Google Doc as you did during the Do Now at the beginning of the lesson. It could be the assignment you identified at the beginning of this module, but it doesn't have to be. What small change to the assignment would make it more authentic, process-oriented, or interactive? Keep your idea handy. You will use it in the final assessment to design your own AI-resistant assessment. You've now explored 3 effective ways to make assessments more AI-resistant by designing authentic tasks, assessing process, and including oral or interactive elements. These approaches to designing assessment help students demonstrate what they truly know and can do, not what AI can generate. Next, you'll put these ideas into practice in the Canvas activity by redesigning one of your own assessments using at least one of these strategies. Now it's time to put everything into practice. In this activity, you will choose one familiar assessment and give it an AI-resistant makeover. Think about which of the strategies we explored: authentic tasks, process-based submissions, or oral and interactive components. Which one best fits your course and your learners? Don't overthink it. Even small adjustments like adding a reflection checkpoint or a short verbal explanation as a required submission from your students can transform how authentically students engage with your assignments. As you redesign the assignment, focus on how the new version would make learning more visible and meaningful for your students. It's not just about the assignments being harder for AI to complete. When you're finished, Share your redesigned assignment in the discussion space so your peers can review and respond to their ideas. Good luck. I hope you found this lesson useful and interesting. Thank you so much for participating. You will find my resources on the following slide. Thanks again.